Don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. Hi everyone, it's Mike here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's time for March's mission inspiration, the main mission inspiration over on our Facebook group. There's the URL on the screen now, but there's a clickable link in the description area below if you're interested or want to get involved in a monthly art challenge. There you go. It's a challenge art group over on Facebook. And we've been going since 2016, I think. I know. Doesn't time fly when you're enjoying yourself. So this year I'm doing a random theme and challenge. So we're picking random challenges from a box which have already been pre-done, and this month it was Nature's Bounty. I know. Colours are brown, green and blue, any shades of course, and you take your inspiration from anything from the natural world. Could be animal, mineral, vegetable, you name it. So I sat and thought about it for a while, and I was stumped pretty much. Talk about being stumped by your own inspiration. I couldn't think what to do. And then I thought, do you know what I'll do is I will go onto my computer and I will do a stash dive. So I typed in the word nature and I thought whatever comes up from my digital archive of digital images, that kind of stuff, I'll make use of. And strangely enough, one of my very early digi-downloads, it's one of my very early art journal sets, if you like, collage sets, came up. Hello Mr. Bentley, talking about nature, came up in the listing. And I thought, you know what, I haven't used that for absolutely ages, so I thought I would do. So it's the art journal set called One with Nature. So what I did was I brought the images into my photo manipulation software. In my case, it's Adobe Photoshop, and I changed the colours just a tad, printed them out, and now I'm sat fussy cutting. So there's the first image from the set. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to fussy cut all of the images out first before I turn over to my overhead camera and show you how I'm going to build a collage up and what I'm going to do for this month's challenge. Okay, so here's the mission inspiration brief again. So this is obviously the one that was folded up, so you can see Mother Nature's Bounty. So verdant plants, trees, fruits and flowers, butterflies and cute cuddly creatures. And the colours are kind of browny, greeny, kind of bluey. Obviously the colours will vary depending on your printer and your monitor. So for me, I'm going to go a little bit lighter with the shades because I think they're a little bit too dark. They've printed a little bit too dark for me. Anyway, so I've gone through my collection of napkins. And I was sent this one in Happy Mail ages and ages and ages ago. And I thought, do you know what, that's just probably the right kind of shades and colours. And again, Mother Nature's Bounty, so beautiful birds. And that's what I'm going to use as the backdrop for my art journal page. So this is, it's a 2 or 3 ply. I think it's probably a 2 ply. So it shouldn't be too difficult to in fact the corner's already gone off on that one, so I can just very gently just ease the backing off. And of course the easy way to do it is to put washi tape or tape on both sides and just pull them apart. That's the easy way to do it. And if you're really careful, you still get a ghost of the original pattern underneath. There we go. So it's just that top one I want. So this is going to be the backdrop for my art journal page. And then we want it about here, just off the top. So if I fold that down a little bit, that should do us about there, I think. Right, take that away, get some water. I mean, I can rip it, but it's probably just going to be just as easy to do it this way. So, a little bit of water on a brush, and then just run that water along that crease. And that will soften and weaken the fibres in the paper so that we can just very easily tear it like that. And it will feather the edge as well, which is perfect. So that's now the right height. Let me just use that tissue back. So now when I place that down, that should fit pretty much onto the page like that. Lovely stuff. Okay, so I'm going to glue it down onto the page, and I'm going to use some deco mache. So this is matte, so it does come in gloss as well. That's the gloss one, that's the matte one, but that's the only difference in the packaging, which is why I've ended up with the gloss one, because they're all together on the shelf, and I picked up this one thinking it was the matte one when it wasn't, it was the gloss. But hey ho. Because I want the matte one. I don't like the gloss ones. So we'll just take some of that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to dab a bit into the corner. That's it, just to hold it kind of down. Smooth it. There we go. That's then going to stop it from moving. And then I can do the same thing over here, put a little bit of that glue down, smooth it with my hand, just pull it a little bit tight just to get rid of a few of those creases. That should hold it, a bit more there, and then that should do us. Okay, so I can now go over the entire of the page. I'll just start from the middle and work my way gently from the middle to the outside. And you have to go gently, because otherwise you may end up tearing it. But it will bag a little bit, because that's just the way it rolls. So you will get a few wrinkles. But it's a great way to get that background effect, the underpapers as we call them, for very little money, because napkins don't cost a lot. It's a great addition to anybody's stash, particularly if you're just getting started in producing art journals, mixed media work. Go out and get yourself a load of napkins. They will be invaluable. It doesn't take long. There you go. So that's almost beautiful enough to just leave on its own, isn't it? but we're not going to. We're not going to. Okay, so we need to get that dried off. So I shall just give it a quick blast over with the heat gun, and then I'll be right back. That's pretty dry. Okay, so we've got the edges here, so all I'm going to do is just grab them and just start pull and tear. And it doesn't matter whether it just goes into the page a little bit. That's half the fun, getting those feather edges. There we go. Excellent. That will do nicely. Okay, so next thing that I want to do is just to add a little bit of paint colour into the background. So we've got those lovely kind of greens and we've got some brown tones, but I want to just put a little bit of a blue tone into the background. So what I'm going to do is just grab some blue paint. This is Indian turquoise from Americana, or Deco Art Americana. I'm just going to grab some water. I'm going to just loosen that paint up so that it's just a thin wash. A real kind of thin wash. And I'm going to add some more water to it, just to kind of get it really kind of thin and watery. And what I'm kind of looking for really is just for it to tint that paper rather than paint over the birds. Now if you want to, grab some tissue, because you've put, or because I've put that Deco Mache on there, it's kind of acting as a little bit of a resist, a little bit of a barrier. We can jump in and kind of wipe it clear or wipe it back if we think it's too much. I say we, that's the royal we. There we go, just a kind of subtle blue in the background. I'm not really concentrating too much in the middle because I'm going to be covering that up again in a second with my focal points. So you can go in, just add your blue. There we go. Almost makes it kind of watercolory. Nice and subtle. It's lovely. Okay, so again, get it dried off. Blue paint is now dried, so we can start building our collage image onto that background now. So you may remember me mentioning the One with Nature DigiKit that I released way back in like 2016, which is what I'm using for the basis of this one. So I'll put the thing on the screen there. So as you can see, it's got a yellow sunflower, and the quote blocks are also in kind of like sunflower yellow, but I've brought them into my Adobe Photoshop and I've changed the colours somewhat. So instead of it being yellow, I've now changed it to a more appropriate green. Now can you see, because you've got the green in those birds, it fits better. So, and I've also changed the colour of the blocks as well. So all I did was use the replace colour brush in Photoshop and just went over the top and changed the yellow to the green. I also moved one of the little bumblebees onto the sunflower itself. So that's what I'm going to use for the base. I'm going to put that down, but I'm going to glue it down. I'm not going to use the Deco Mache. I'm just going to use ordinary kind of glue. Now I've got my spirit glue in my fine point applicator. So we're going to give that a go today because that's all new, to see whether or not it does work. So let's just go around the edges. This is all a bit better. So much easier to control. And then I can just put my pin back in. There we go. So let's flip that over and glue that down kind of in the centre, about there I think. And I'm just going to smooth it out from the centre. There you go, look at the way it kind of blends in. You'd never know that that wasn't actually part of the original image. So, right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stick down in there my lady's face. So somewhere kind of like in the middle there, I think. So again, we're building up the collage. Right. So she can go in the middle, kind of like so. Perfect. And then the next layer is that butterfly. And no, I didn't cut out the antenna because I've said so many different times, nobody got time to try and cut out butterfly antennas. If you have got time, good luck to you. Okay, so that then, typical butter side down. There we go, gotcha. Right, so I'm then going to stick that down over a face. There we go. Perfect. And then we've got the real weird eyes to stick on now. I've got to make sure I get these the right way around. Because if you wanted a bit more of a whimsical and weird page, you can space the eyes out a bit further apart if you want to, or if you want a really weird look, space the eyes close together. There we go. I think that's pretty much even. Just looks like she's wearing a butterfly mask now. There we go. And then just to finish off at the bottom, we've got her body and her hands holding the lotus flower. All lovely kind of images of nature. Flip that over, and then this is the final piece to go down. We can just do it so our hands are resting down there. Excellent. Now I can put my quote block in. So that's the first one. What I love about collage is that you can add disparate elements together to create a new picture, build your own scene, as it were. Create something new from elements that were never really meant to go together. I'm going to add that one across the bottom. And I've always said, if you find it difficult to draw, or drawings never come natural to you, and you can't paint your own faces and that kind of thing, then using collage is a really great way to be able to get that graphical kind of element without having to go through the anguish of trying to draw a lady's face. Okay, so not quite finished. What I want to do is I want to try now blend out around the outside. So to do that, I'm going to use some white gesso. So I've got some white gesso here. I need a paintbrush, another paintbrush, because I've washed the other ones already. And because we used acrylic paint on the blue, that's not going to move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some white, and I just want to brush out. See, if we'd used kind of like water based, then it would have started to blend and mould together. It would have moved, I should say, the blue. But because we used acrylic and it's permanent when dry, it isn't going to move. Now, of course, when the gesso dries, it will dry back lighter, so it'll only be a subtle kind of ghosting effect, unless I've gone really, really heavy with the paint, just like there. But don't worry, I'm going to come in with a tissue in a little while and just blend it back a little. And I'm not using a baby wipe, I'm just using a dry piece of kitchen towel. Okay, and then just a little bit down here towards the bottom, just to kind of create a frame, a little blended out, subtle fade kind of effect. Just need to get in before it dries. Just give it a bit of a wipe. There we go. Just kind of subtles and blends out and kind of gives you that fade in those corners. I think what also we can do, maybe just take a little bit and just add some splatters, some kind of ethereal splatters. So where's the white, the water I should say. Add a bit, and then we can there we go, like that. Not the best brush to do it with, but and then if you want to, you can just wipe that off quickly. all neat and tidy. There we go. Okay, let's just get that dried off. Okay, so it has started to dry, well, it has dried and died back a little bit, but you can see there is just that subtle kind of fade in the edges. Now I'm just going to go around and get rid of the last bits of tissue paper on the edges, and all I'm using is an emery board for this. And I'm just sanding that kind of page corner, and the bits of tissue just fall off. There you go. Just makes it a bit easier. So that's tidied those edges quite nicely. So what you could do, if you wanted to, is if you wanted those elements to pop a bit more, you could then draw around them with a black pen, just to kind of get them to sing more off the page. But I'm not going to this time. I'm actually going to just leave that because I want it to kind of blend and disappear kind of into the background. I don't want them to pop too much. I just want them to sit and be one with nature, if you know what I mean. So that's it for me for this one. I'm going to just finish it off by signing it and dating it. So 5th of March 22, Saturday the 5th of March 2022. So that's it for my mission inspiration, Mother Nature's Bounty. And as you can see, we've got beautiful insects, flowers and lovely birds. What more could you ask for? So that's it for mission inspiration for March. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this art journal page, this collaged art journal page. If you have, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. But also, if you'd like to join us over on our Mission Inspiration Facebook group, that's the URL on the screen there, but there will be a clickable link in the description area below for you to click on and pop over to Facebook and ask to join the group for our monthly art challenges. So there's a main monthly art challenge the first Saturday of each month, and then there's also a mid-month mini mission inspiration on the third Saturday of each month as well. So there's 2 art challenges every month, and there's 4,500 to nearly 5,000 people in the group now, all sharing hints, tips, encouragement, and sharing projects that they've created using the inspiration that the group provide. So that's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.